So today I decided I'm going to do a quick review of my 2005 Ram 2500 diesel. Thought might be people curious about the third generation Ram and just want a sense of what owning one of these trucks is like. I've owned it for 3 years and just kind of what the experience is and how they run and all that stuff. So first I'll give you a super quick tour from the driver's seat. So my particular truck, it's an SLT. It's a quad cab with an 8-foot bed. The previous owner added the towing mirrors, which are great. They flip out and they're heated. I'm a huge fan of heated exterior mirrors, but just know those are able to be swapped off even if your truck didn't originally have it. Of course, power windows, power locks, power mirrors. It has infinity sound, which is nice. I really don't mind it. The factory sound system, considering this truck is, trying to be 20 years old, I still find the sound reasonable. I very much enjoy the white face gauges. This is an SLT, so in addition to the power equipment, of course, it has cruise control and a tilt wheel as well. And the aforementioned AM FM CD with infinity sound. It's the high output. This particular one I love. I have the split bench in the front, so there is the ability to seat a sixth person. So you get, more or less the center console feel, but you also have the seating, which is fantastic. And then just going around, there's my hand. Just going around, there's, the typical level of plastic that you would expect of a truck of this generation. But overall, a really nice truck. This one is a no pets, no smoke truck. So, it's been it's been really good. So anyway, thought we'd try the startup procedure. So you tick the key forward. You see the glow plugs are heating. Turn the sound off. As soon as that indicator goes off, which usually, there we go. Turn the key, it starts up. I happen to think no better sound in the world. Yep, oh, by the way, it's flashing. I have a headlight all out that I'm going to take care of today. No better sound than a diesel engine. And just listen to that old girl. This particular one has 140,000 miles on it, which is incredibly low for its age. Obviously, these trucks go 300K, 400K, 500K, really requiring very little. So I've just been thrilled to death with this truck. My needs have changed. I don't need a truck this big, so potentially it's going to be leaving the household soon. But overall, it's been fantastic. I'm going to now go out and do an outside tour for you as well. Hopefully the engine noise won't be too much, but from the outside, I happen to think this is a very good looking truck. Mine, as I mentioned, is an SLT. That gives it the chrome bits. Got the factory fog lights, pre-mentioned mirrors, has the alloy wheels, which I think are great. Previous owner installed the Michelin tires, which are outstanding. This truck is a special truck. It's an 8-foot bed, so 2500. So more or less mimics the layout of what would have been a dually and a 3500 that year, possibly. So one thing I wanted to show is the size. Trucks just continue to get larger. I don't know if you can get a good perspective for this one versus my Expedition, but that Expedition is huge in comparison. And meanwhile, this is a long bed quad cab truck, which is pretty crazy. But overall, it's just been wonderful. And again, that sound you can't beat. All the suspension and everything is stock, although it's been refreshed at points. But look how big that bed is. That 8-foot bed is magnificent. And the truck's small enough, even though it wouldn't seem it, that it's still pretty maneuverable. We've driven this thing as far as from the East Coast out to Iowa and back, and it really did great, and it got nearly 20 miles to the gallon. So it's really just been a great truck, and I would highly encourage somebody that's considering it. The nice thing about these trucks, they're still costly, but the good news is if you take care of them, when you sell them on, as I'm considering doing, you're going to get your money back or very close to it. Buy a new truck and try to do that. And it doesn't matter what manufacturer you buy. You buy yourself a new truck, and try to sell it 3 years later, you may very well get half your money back, right? This truck, not the case. Even the people that, maybe make fun of Dodge or Ram, it's hard to argue that this Cummins is not just about the best powertrain, best engine that ever went into a truck. This particular one is the high output version. It's the 325 horse, 600 pounds of torque. again, forgive the noise. There she is. That's the beast right there. There's the value. And I'll tell you what, I wouldn't reconsider this 1 minute. So I'm going to give you some wrap-up thoughts here in a second, and then we'll finish out. So I'm back inside the truck. You know, just for some wrap-up thoughts. As you can see, it started to rain here. But you know, some final thoughts. So I bought this truck 3 years ago with about 20 something thousand miles on it. I've spent very little in that time. You know, simple maintenance stuff. It had a leaky fuel injector that popped up all of a sudden, so I had the opportunity to have that repaired. And other than that, it's just been a fantastic truck. It's rare, you know, in this price class, say the under $25,000 truck. How do you find one that can tow 14,000 pounds, that can seat 6 people, and that, honest to goodness, on the highway on that Midwest trip, we got just about 20 miles to the gallon average. So try to do that in a half-ton truck, other than maybe a brand new one with a 4-cylinder. But certainly not one that's capable of doing the kind of work this truck does. So, you know, and I think, you know, in the price class, and again, I won't share the specific details, but I think this truck is worth just about what I paid for it. Maybe more, who knows? But, you know, it's a step back in time, but I can tell you, and you can see here, just to give you some sort of a gauge of the size. You know, my hand's at the middle of the passenger seat, and I'm not huge, I'm 6 feet. But, you know, it's a nice sized truck. The 8-foot bed makes it long, there's no question, but when you looked at that comparison with my Expedition, modern trucks just keep getting bigger. I drove the other day an F-150, and the cab feels probably 6 inches wider inside to me. Now, maybe that's just a perception thing, but, you know, it's amazing how big trucks have grown to be. And, you know, for my use anyway, this truck has just been fantastic. So, you know, what I was hoping to do with this video for people maybe that are considering buying a diesel, you know, one thing that I learned, and the reason we bought this is because we have a travel trailer. We had a half-ton and it struggled a little bit. One thing that I've learned is, within reason, you can never own too much truck. Having a truck of this magnitude, the beauty is I go hook up to our 7,500, 8,000 pound trailer, tow it up hills, tow it on the highway. I'm never afraid it's going to run me over. And certainly we have a weight distributing hitch. We have trailer brakes, had the same things with our half-ton truck. But it takes all the struggle out of the drive, right? This truck I've hauled, in fact, the video here, just a funny story, you can see the cab and the hood of our 66 F100. I drove to a neighboring state with a U-Haul trailer, pulled that back. Certainly you feel that something's behind you, but the absolute pleasure to not feel like the load behind you is going to run you down is just, it's something you really can't replace. And again, my use case has changed, and I just have no need for something this big any longer. But the truck's really been fantastic. So what I was hoping is just to give you a view. I have driven many diesels. I've never owned one till this truck. This experience makes me, if ever I would need a truck this big again, I would not hesitate. And my hope was maybe somebody was on the fence that was looking at a little bit of an older diesel truck, maybe with a little more mileage. Again, this one's got about 140 on it, but you know, highly encourage you to consider it because, you know, the depreciation curve hits a certain spot and then it kind of just stops. So, you know, it might be something to consider. And if you have the cash, if you have 25, 30,000 where you can just pay for something, you know, not only are interest rates high these days, but you know, you can get yourself into a really nice truck. And even if you have to spend $1,000 or $2,000 in maintenance, it's well worth it. So anybody that's considering one of these trucks, you got any questions, I am very deep in the 3rd gen community. As you can kind of tell by the glance of the truck, I do not have this truck modified. It has a 4-inch exhaust on it that I'm not certain. I think maybe it was a Mopar offering. It's not I don't believe the bone stock original exhaust for the truck, but other than that, it's not tuned, it's not all crazy. With 600 pounds of torque, I don't believe this truck needs it. It's just got lots of capability. So anyway, anybody considering getting in on one of these, if you have a question, if I can help you in any way, please comment. Certainly I'd appreciate likes on the video, of course. You know, share it and please subscribe, because there will be more content, lots of stuff. I do everything from EVs to that Expedition to tire reviews. You know, there's a lot on the channel and a lot more inbound. So stay tuned, and really appreciate your time. I hope you have a great day.